Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. Today we're going to be unboxing a tiny package here, and this is actually an expansion from Kingdom Death Monster. This is called the Green Armor or Green Armor Kit expansion, and essentially it's just going to be a bunch of pieces, miniature pieces that allow you to create a green armor kit, which is apparently, from what I'm told or what I've read, is extremely hard to get a complete set of. I've heard that it is possible to get pieces of this set and things like that. Of course, it's possible to assemble the entire thing, but it's quite difficult as well. So what you're seeing here in front of you is literally the boxing it comes in, which is essentially just a Ziploc bag. And inside of it's a bunch of miniature pieces for those armor. So if you want to put green armor on your actual survivors, you have pieces for them, as well as some cards and gear cards, as well as an armor card here. This is a completed set bonus, and of course that's the main goal. So let's open this up and actually see what's inside. This should be a relatively quick video because of the size of this expansion is so small, but I'll show you some details on the miniatures and things like that. So first off, let's just take a quick look at the actual sprue here. So the sprue looks to have not only some armor, but also it appears to have a couple swords. So maybe there's a green sword that you can acquire as well. So hopefully this is coming through on the video okay. I'll try to see if I can angle this in a way you guys can see it pretty well. That looks pretty clear. So you can see there's a bunch of swords there. I don't know if that's a shield in itself. It may be. I'm not sure. You've got some hands here, I believe, on the far right in order to use for some of your survivors. I don't know. Maybe those... Yeah, that's some closed gripped hands over on this side, and then on the far right on this side, they're open. So you got a bunch of different ones there. I'm not sure. Those could be shoulder... Those could be things that sit off the shoulder. I'm not 100% sure. Those look like capes. If I flip this over, it might give me the detail on the side. Yeah, these could be parts of armor or a cape. I'm not sure. You've got some legs, so you got some pretty heavy-duty armor sets here. This is actually pretty cool. This one looks pretty awesome in this row right here. So you can see the armor set. Hopefully the detail, yeah, there you go. The detail's coming through a little bit better now as we're getting closer. And as we go through it, kind of looks like just a whole ton of pieces to essentially swap out green armor. Now, because I don't know much about this, I can't speak to it yet, but what I can do is show you the cards that come in it, and that'll give us some names that might go along with some of this content. So you're also receiving in this bag 2 bases, so you're going to get 2 bases inside the game. Of course, they have the inner portion and outer portion. Again, the texturized side always sticks out, and then you've got the I Love Poots symbol that is always shown on the outside. It's kind of upside down, so I'll flip that around so you guys can actually see it. That's what it looks like. Pretty cool. So 2 bases, and then of course the cards. So the cards are going to be pretty simplistic because, again, it's just an armor set. This isn't good. It's going to add some gameplay mechanics in terms of, or mechanisms in terms of the gear cards themselves and having a completed set of green armor, but it's not going to add content in terms of what's typical for a Kingdom Death Monster expansion, which is like a story or some type of alternate path that I'm aware of. So from what I'm seeing here in these cards, they look to be just gear specific. So cool. It's pretty cool. It's obviously a hard set to complete. This is actually what it looks like in the end when you have the entire green armor completed set. These are all the different pieces, and that's essentially what it looks like. So if you're one of those individuals who want to paint, you could try to paint a survivor with all of this stuff on and then try to gun to actually be able to complete that and be able to use that character in the game. I think that's another thing about Kingdom Death Monster I really like. So of course you have one side that is the male side, if I'm not mistaken, and then the opposite side you have the female version as well, which I love because it has male and female included in the game. And the thing I really like about Kingdom Death Monster is the fact that you really can equip your survivors to be exactly how your gear cards are set out. So, and you can create so many of them, so many different variations. So if you're into miniatures, you're going to love it. Or you can just be satisfied with using the base survivors that come in the main game and just run with that and use your imagination as they acquire gear. But it's very rare that a game allows you to actually put the gear on in miniature form as you go along, which is pretty cool. So the first one here is called Green Boots. So this is something that you can acquire with this set. So there you go. You've got the green plate. There's some information about that. The green gloves. And because this is an armor set, it's going to be a piece for absolutely everything, of course. The green helm. And okay, so this is, okay, it was a shield. I actually was correct. Originally I wasn't sure whether that was a shield or not, or something maybe that was potentially like a shoulder plate or something, or maybe something that sits on the back or front. Not sure, but it is actually a shield, so that's cool to know. And of course, this is the name of the Griswaldo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and obviously that's a very, very powerful weapon to have. And then you've got, what is this here? These ones I'm not too sure about, so maybe this is something that you wear over your head, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, based on the picture up there, or maybe, oh no, maybe that's the belt area, or waist, hip area, is what this is. So that's pretty cool. Looks like it, yeah, it kind of comes off with the legs, I guess. Yeah, that looks right. If I'm looking at the green armor set correctly, that looks like it would come from the kind of the waist and thigh area. So that's pretty cool. So again, that's, I mean, it's a very simplistic expansion, not a very long unboxing for sure, but there's not tons of actual booklets or content with this one. So, but I wanted to show you guys exactly what you'd get, so you get a rough idea of what to expect if you are waiting on this or you're having to pick it up through their store. I'm really excited to add this into my collection of Kingdom Death Monster material, and can't wait to see if I can ever actually complete the entire set of this armor, which I think would be absolutely cool. And maybe even to build a miniature resembling that would be even better. So I'll probably be doing that in my spare time as well. Okay, so there was one other thing that I didn't even notice on these gear cards when I was going through them, but as you can see here, each one we went through one by one, and I showed you each of them, but I didn't notice until after I unboxed it. On the very back, there's a very different layout for these gear cards. They're called gear recipes, and so there's a cost associated with them, and as well as some innovation requirements to actually create them, which I find really cool. So you actually have to have innovations unlocked or usable within your settlement, plus you have to be able to spend the cost of those actual resources in order to gain or create this particular recipe or gear. And each one is so vastly different, which is probably why this armor set is so hard to complete a set with, because you can see that each of these costs are going to come from different expansions. So for instance, if you don't actually have all of the expansions available, you may not be able to make a complete set. Some of these come from the Flower Knight, for instance. This one comes from the Lion Knight. This one here, I'm not sure, it doesn't make it obvious, but I'm assuming one of these three resources is from another expansion. This is from the Gorm, is something that you need there. Right here, something again from the Gorm. This one over here is the... Ooh, I'm not sure which one that one could be from. I guess a Flower Knight, potentially. Could be a guess on that one. And then the Dung Beetle Knight on this one. So, and there could even be more within them, because I'm not that familiar with them yet. But as you can see, you're going to need those expansions to create each of these different items. But I found that really cool. I thought I would share that with you. So just another piece of information about this particular set, the green armor set. So again, thank you for your support and watching this video. I do have a ton of other Kingdom Death Monster expansions already opened on the channel and unboxings, as well as more to come. So be sure to check those out. Thanks again, and as always, keep on rolling solo.